Hello, my friends. I wanted to do a quick video before all of the light goes away, which will be in like 10 minutes, about tomorrow. It's the new moon. It's the new moon in Pisces. That's good. It will be conjoined with the ruler of that new moon, which is Jupiter. And that is all very good, very expansive, a very great start to possibly something new. Hold on. Like new energy starting. It's the entire beginning of a new cycle. That's great. And it's all good energy. There's other things happening that make it so accentuated with just accentuated because okay, so that is happening tomorrow. That sounds great. We're good with that. On top of that happening, I think within hours, Venus will be moving out of her shadow where she's been in that same stretch of the sky since November 17th. And that's a long time to be anywhere for anyone, but especially her, with going through that stretch of Capricorn, which is what we've all been dealing with since like imagine before ramping up to Thanksgiving. That's where Venus has been in the sky, going back and then back over and then back again over that same stretch of sky, dealing with deep uncovering things with Pluto. And that is not exactly a picnic. It's not exactly fun. It's like the lord of the underworld and like Hades, and being like, okay, we have to fucking get to the root of this, uncover what this is. And so wherever that has been for you, it's the Capricorn part of your chart that has been dealing with whatever this is about for you. And it's different for everyone. But so finally to have Venus say, not only am I not retrograde, I'm direct, okay, great, but now I'm moving out of that entire area, is insane. It's like, thank God. Like, she is out of that area. She's moving on. She's going to be now treading on new ground for the first time since November 17th. That's insane. Okay, so that is good. We want that. The thing is the very next day. So this is all happening tomorrow, Wednesday the 2nd. The next day, Thursday the 3rd, Venus freshly into her new ground. She's like finishing up the last bit of Capricorn, but she's at least in like new degrees now, like 27, 28. She will then immediately conjoin Pluto, and Mars is like, I think, like maybe a half an hour or an hour before her or something, because they're traveling together right now in the sky. I'll get to that. That's a big, heavy thing. It's like you've been dealing with Pluto during the retrograde that you've been going through, and then the same stretch of ground again and again. And now it's like the final recap of like, here's Pluto again. As soon as you make it out of this, this small enclosed area that you've been in, that's kind of heavy and a lot. And then Mars also at the same time basically conjoining Pluto is a whole other different thing, because Mars hasn't been on the same journey, but Mars with Pluto is not just a heavy thing. It can be an explosive thing, and it can be a very violent thing. And it kind of worries me, to be quite honest. Mars, Pluto is like Mars, god of war, aggression, acrimony, separation, with Pluto, the underworld, Hades, eruptions from below, volcanic, underworld type of things. That's not exactly settling. Like, oh, it's a perfect day for a wedding. It's like, it's very like an aggression type of energy, and it's kind of scary when we're talking about war and possible explosions and things like that. That's not what you want to see, frankly. But I don't know. I'm not making predictions. It's just a little worrisome. After that, so Mars and then Venus will have their Pluto moment. Okay, that's Thursday. Then we have Friday the 4th. We're still dealing with that. Saturday, the ruler of that new moon that we're now functioning under, Jupiter, will join with the sun, which is a yearly thing that happens, which is a good thing. This is Jupiter having like its new phase starting. And it's kind of like Jupiter saying like, We're now starting, it's like a new way of life for Jupiter, and Jupiter is abundance and opportunities and possibility, and like, you know, everything expanding in wherever he is sitting, wherever that Pisces stuff is for you. That is like, you know, now getting a new kind of start to everything. And then in the sky, in the eastern, on the eastern horizon, soon, not now, but soon, you will see Jupiter rising as a morning star. So right before, like, you know, right before sunrise, you will see Jupiter eventually rising as a new, you know, newborn Jupiter kind of coming out. So that is a good thing. We want that. This is a new cycle starting. Also, late Saturday night and then into Sunday morning, Mars will go into Aquarius and be done with Capricorn. Venus will finally move into Aquarius and be done with Capricorn. Okay, that's major. Now we're in completely different grounds altogether. This is a whole new thing. What is really incredible though is immediately, like within, I don't know, an hour or minutes, Venus is moving faster at this point, and she will then surpass Mars, conjoin with him, have this moment where they're together. And then she will move on and you know, surpass him. The light is insane right now. Sorry. So that is more of a, like, this is a sea change kind of moment for Venus, because before she's been you know, plagued in this kind of swamp since November, and dealing with everything there, dealing with Mars right on her tail, and Mars crossed over her, surpassed her, and he was actually going faster than her, and we're having this, like, you know, Mars Venus kind of trade-off. Now they're both in a new sign, and immediately she passes him. This is a whole new, there's a whole new rhythm here, and both of those planets going into the sign of Aquarius, it's sort of like more of a people power kind of feel. It's more of a, like, you know, I just read something about a guy, like a sailor, he like intentionally tried to sink his boss's yacht because his boss was this like rich dickhead Russian guy, and he was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna sink your yacht. That is definitely like Mars in I feel that that's Mars in Aquarius, and like, you know, a Venus Aquarius, like a people power, like the people that have traditionally been on the outside of the wall, the villages of old Europe, you know, Italy, whatever, have walls built around them, because now the light's really going, because there were people who built those towns and cities, and there were reasons that they built the wall, and there were people that they wanted to keep out, not just why they wanted to remain safe inside. And that is more of like a Capricorn idea. The people on the outside of the wall have been, you know, thought of usually as the Aquarius idea. The people who see something going on, maybe they weren't invited to the party, but they're like, you know what, fuck you. We're gonna take the idea and make it better. We're going to say, yes, we see your little idea of society. We're gonna change it all. It's very stubborn. It can be about dogma, and it can be very much about community, grassroots effort, and just an upwelling of people power. And it doesn't always have to be that, but it can be very much that. So when I see these things moving into Aquarius, where it's more of like a place of the mind, also it's an air sign, I would imagine there'd be some type of peace or some type of upper hand being gained by the people, because it's, I don't know. I mean, it's just, that's a lot of power going into that place right there. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. This is just very quick. So then immediately after that happens, like literally within an hour of that happening, the moon will go into Taurus, and you're like, okay, good. Yeah, we like the moon in Taurus, but right now, because that is a square to Venus and Mars, that's going to put some weird kind of tension into the mix. And immediately we will probably feel that tension going into the mix. And why I'm saying this, a moon transit isn't the biggest thing in the world. You're going to feel it for a few hours. Who cares? I'm saying this because it might be a precursor to what we're going to feel later in the month around the full moon, around the 18th through the 22nd, when Venus and Mars will be squaring Uranus, also in Taurus. So again, it's going to be those same houses that are being kicked up, being triggered. So a square between Venus and Mars in Aquarius, and then, Moon in this case, but then later in the month, Uranus in Taurus. So for me, for example, as a Libra rising, the Taurus place for my chart is the eighth house. So the eighth house is lit up by whatever is happening here, along with the Aquarius house, which is the fifth house of creativity, possibly children, romance, whatever. So, or creativity, pleasure, what we do for fun. Those two houses for me will be lit up right when this major, ingress happens, and then the moon squares them. And then again, majorly, when in the middle of the month, we're having this square with Uranus there. And Uranus is a different energy, and it's it's just a different energy. I won't talk about that right now. But I'm just thinking that this moon, squaring them right as they move into this fresh new ground, have this fresh new power, to have that square of frustration of God, we've got to kind of come up with something here, is interesting because it kind of foreshadows what might be happening 18th through the 22nd. So I wanted to let people know that this is so fast for me, and it's already 11 minutes. I should be doing something like this in 2 minutes, but I can't do that. It's just, there's too much to go into, and I barely scraped the surface, but I just wanted to get that out there. And if there's something else going on, there's a lot going on actually, but I will try to get back to people with the general overview, because I want people to know this, that we are moving into stuff that the year hasn't started. The year starts now. 2022 starts now. The past 2 years, January, February, it was all just sort of unraveling the crap of November, December. We are now starting new ground, and boy, is it starting to get crazy. So I wanted to put that out there, and I don't even want to edit this. It's just going to take me forever, but I hope that this helps, and I'll come back with more soon. Okay, thanks.